All right, as you guys know, I was telling you about this ICO that was coming up. I was pretty interested in, and I think it was either Thursday or Friday. I was mentioning I was going to have this guy on. I think Sunday and early morning. We're just on two different parts of the Earth, so it ended up working out good. So this his company's called DropDeck, or this ICO is DropDeck. Essentially, provides funding. One of the main issues is cross-border funding. It's real easy to fund things internally, right, to your country, no problem. But there's great ideas and great businesses coming up in other countries, and they just don't have the local funds. One of the people that I subscribe to in email is a guy named Simon Black, who is calls himself the sovereign man. He's always talking about his farm in Chile and all these investments, and he's constantly talking about investments outside of his own country, even, and how to get into those things. So, but we're talking old school. It's hard to get that done these days. So that's where DropDeck comes in, makes things a little easier. So I'm with the co-founder and CEO, Elon. He's out of Singapore, and I was just talking to him right before we started recording. I'm like, yeah, it's funny you're out of Singapore because I've noticed, and I was telling him I was just doing this video. He's like, I know, I already saw it. But to recap the video about China, they want back in the ICO game, they want back in the crypto game, and they can't. So the exchanges, the people that run them, and some of these other companies over there that facilitated that are saying, well, we're going to go to Hong Kong, we're going to Southeast Asia, and one of the other places was Singapore. And I'm like, I know Singapore seems to be one of those spots where they just, hey, come on in, we'll take you guys in, and we're not going to scrutinize you real hard like some of these other countries and let you do your thing. So I'd sent him several questions about his ICO, and I think, is going to cover every single one of them here shortly. And there's some really good questions and answers he's got. But I looked at his team and by the way, the website's dropdeck.io. And he's got I'd say nothing short of an A-list team of advisors, along with his team and advisors. And we were just chatting about that. I mean, he's like, yeah, we have actual, real people. I was talking about that one of my video the other day where they grabbed a picture of somebody from Japan and put it up on their. This is our guy. This is our advisor guy, and this is this. And they're like, wait a minute, that's not even his name. And they got crushed online. It was just horrible. But he's like, yeah, they're actually real. You can reach out to us and talk to anybody. So, Elon, appreciate you coming on. So tell everybody about DropDeck. Why there's the need for DropDeck. What does it do? What do the tokens do? Why are they valuable? Why does it, me as an investor, etc., want to hold on to these things? That kind of thing.
Wow, there's a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So we started this DropDeck as a platform for cross-border business funding because we've been working in the field of startups and investment for quite some time. We've been starting a few startups. We've been started a few startups on our own, and we worked with a lot of investors before. So we figured out there are a lot of difficulties, a lot of problems between them in finding and evaluating each other's. So we really want to go out there and fix those problems because it's very important to have these two-sided people to connect with each others and to make the funding happen so that the people with the innovation, the innovative companies can have the funding to make their product come true and bring a lot of values to the societies. And when it comes to innovation, is all about things that make your future quality. Your future standard of living increase. So it's a very good thing, essential things. I have a background in economics and environmentalism, so I know I know by heart that there's a lot of inefficiencies in all corners of life and work that are affecting, endangering your future quality of life. That's why we need to accelerate the capital flow into innovation, and this is the very product we want to build to achieve that. And
Excellent.
so, yeah, at the beginning, we was tackling the problem at a very personal level with the investor. We talked with them, which platform are you using? What prevent you from finding the great companies you want to fund? And we got very honest answers from them. They're using things like platform like AngelList and other platforms, but those platforms, they still cannot become the one-stop shop for all these funders because they they still have a lot of inefficiencies and they don't solve the problem that the funders want to solve. So We try to use innovative designs. We try to use AI technologies to help them to screen through this long list of companies faster, so that they can arrive at the next investment faster. There are like tens of thousands of companies on funding platforms out there. So, but those platforms, they leave the hassles of finding the needle in the haystack to the funders. So we want to solve that for them. We want to be like Amazon, you know. When you go to Amazon, they bring the answer right in front of you. They bring you the right recommendation based on what you like and dislike, and based on the trustworthiness of the people who provide the product. So we want to do the same thing here. If funders go to our platform, they can see immediately the companies that are more potentials, based on the trustworthiness of the people who evaluate them, and based on a huge amount of parameters we have set aside to measure the potential of those companies. And in the process of developing the AI engines for this product, we stumble into a lot of problems that later when we learn about blockchains, we figure that we can adapt blockchain features like tokens, like cryptocurrencies, and we can even use the ICO itself to solve a lot of problems that we cannot solve with AIs. So we use token, and we use the smart contract to create what I call an incentive ecosystem, where there are a lot of participants in the funding process, and they are incentivized to provide the data to the AI engine, because the AI engine needs a lot of data to process. And also the smart contract will incentivize people to collaborate with each other in real life. We can affect real life behavior of people on our platform through the smart contract and through the cryptocurrencies, because the more, if they do their best, then they will get rewarded with more cryptocurrency, with more our tokens. So that becomes our ecosystem can become a small economy where people do their best to contribute to the funding process and get rewarded. By the funding process here, I'm talking about the evaluation process, where a company get evaluated. Next come the funding process, where the funded company get the funding from the funders. This is also done by smart contracts. So we also learn a lot of things from other projects like Dash. So we divide the funding amount into many different installments, so that contribute to minimizing the risk of the funders, and it lets it motivates the funded companies to keep working hard in order to receive the next installment of the funding. And the third thing that we want to make sure is that the funders will get rewarded in some way, so that they're motivated enough to keep funding and to attract more and more funders to the platform. That's how we can address the huge amount of capital in this funding market of $300 billion. It's a huge market. So if we have a positive feedback loop,
You said 300 billion, correct?
$300 billion
Okay, yeah, okay, I thought I heard that. Okay.
On the funding market. That includes the VC capital market size, and the lending, the business lending market size is huge. So here we're trying to create a feedback loop here. You see that the companies are evaluated, the fundings are made, and then the funders get rewarded. It's a circle. It's a full circle. So there's a positive feedback loop, because as more come this way, more will come back that way, and then more we goes to the companies, and so on. So more and more company will join in this ecosystem, and more funder will join in this ecosystem. It will expand until it reaches the size of the market we want to address here, which is $300 billion, a huge market. Even if we capture only a share of that market, it's already a huge numbers. So all of the capital from that huge market will be channeled into the value of the tokens that we are issuing here, because all the activities on our platform require the tokens that we're going to issue, which is called a decentralized DropDeck token, DDD. So anyone need DDD to make the funding on our platform, to get rewarded, to buy the premium features, to pay for the extra data on the companies they want to access. So the more people who need DDD to use our services, the more the demand for our token will increase and the value for the token will increase accordingly.
And so
So
I
that
guess so the more companies that ultimately get on board, start using your platform for funding, obviously there's only so many tokens. So if they're being used with other projects and companies going on, new companies coming in, those of us that are holding these tokens become valuable, obviously, because
yeah,
there's a
yes,
little shorter supply on hand.
yes, yeah. The supply is limited to a few billions, but when more money comes into this ecosystem and more people need to buy the tokens, the value will increase. And so we start the value of the token as 3 cents per token. It will increase to a point that where we can capture the whole market size.
Okay. Now, one of the things too, you'd mentioned that there was going to be, I think, was it in the first hour of the pre-sale, not the ICO, but the pre-sale, you were going to do like a big bonus, and then you mentioned, hey, we may try to throw out a JSNP 4 special bonus for your people, possibly. Is that going to happen? Are you planning
Yeah,
on doing that?
yeah, exactly. So we call the first hour power hour. So during that hour, we offer a big bonus rate of 50%. So
Wow.
that's like 15,000 um, tokens per one ether. But before the ICO, we have a pre-sales for people who know about DropDeck already. So they will have a slightly higher discount rate, but they have to hold the tokens for much longer period of time. And yeah, and of course for JSNIF's channel, we really want to offer a bonus code of 5%, so you can get an extra 5% for any amount of tokens you can get from the pre-sale from the ICO.
And I think that I thought you said it'd be like on my Ether wallet where the little button that says data, add extra data. Is that where they add the code essentially? That's not what's going to happen?
Yeah, so people can contribute to our smart contract during the ICO from the My Ether wallet, and when they make the transaction, they can input into the data box. They can input the code there, and when we get the transaction, we can trace back to your bonus code, and they will get the bonus.
Okay. Well, and when is this this particular pre-sale, not the ICO, but this pre-sale, where we will be able to do that? What day does that start?
Yeah, so the pre-sale will start from November 4th next
November
month.
4th. Okay.
Yeah, so we
How
will
long does
have
it run?
we will run that for until November 18, but we will close it sooner as soon as the cap
Yeah.
is reached. Yeah, but in order to participate in the pre-sale and the ICO, you have to get whitelisted. So we have a whitelist period starting from November 1st. So people need to get on board our platform. They need to provide information, KYC.
So go to
AML.
dropdeck.io, sign
Yes,
up like typical, sign up, put your email in, and then go
yes,
through that process so that they're ready, like you said, so they're whitelisted. Then come the
yes,
4th, they'll be
eh,
ready to go. And on the
yes.
4th, there in you mentioned that in the first hour you're given a massive bonus, which is incredible, by the way. But
And, uh,
um,
just to clarify, the bonus
yeah.
is for the ICO date on November 21st.
Oh, not the pre-sale.
Yeah, not the pre-sale. I mean,
Okay, so
yeah, I mean the discount rate for the pre-sale is even a little bit slightly higher at 60%. For the ICO's first hour is 50%.
okay, so
But
let me back up. The pre-sale during the first hour will have a 60% bonus. So,
so the pre-sale will last for uh, many days, and the discount rate will remain at 60%.
oh, okay, for the pre-sale. So for the entire time of the pre-sale, not the hour.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
the hours for the ICO, the regular sale, the main sale, is
yes,
the 1 hour. Okay, got it, got it. Okay.
yeah.
Now, as far as the JSNP 4 code, is that able to be used either time and for not like an hour? Like it can be used the whole time, even the pre-sale and the main sale, or just the pre-sale?
Yeah, for both the pre-sale and for the main sale.
Okay, so an additional 5% for any subscriber or anybody who listens to this video, I guess. All right,
Yeah,
well that's fine, and I don't care. If someone's a subscriber or not, I don't care. I'm just trying to share the whole, with the whole world about the crypto space, and
yeah,
what these things do, and some of the ones I find that to be a little more fascinating than others that I think have some potential.
yeah,
So you'd mentioned your platform. So basically, you're going to have a website type of a platform that
yes,
people, companies, etc., and the funders. So let's say, let me go here. If this is already up and running, you've got companies on there that want funding. The ICO is already over, right? So all the tokens have been distributed. How does the company get those tokens from us, from those of us who are holding them, or do you have some set aside that your platform automatically uses as part of that?
yes. Actually, our platform is not launched yet, so we've been building an MVP since December last year, but we have not, officially accepted companies to be listed on our platform yet. So it would take us as long as until the third quarter of next year to complete on the functions for the funding, smart contract, and all the infrastructures. So right now we don't have the funding mechanism in place yet. It's still in development,
Okay.
and so before the product is before the funding feature is complete, people who hold the tokens can keep trading it based on what we release because we our philosophy is to ship fast. So the product always reflect our current state of product development. We ship everything we build, so people can see our platform evolve little by little until the third quarter of next year. And the people who hold our tokens, they will benefit from burning models of our tokens because we make profit. So for every transaction, for every funding activity that took place on our platforms, we will take a 4% or 2% according to the type of the funding. And we make our revenues in our own tokens, DDDs. And so we have a schedule to burn up to half of these tokens um, after we generate the revenues from them. So the people who hold our tokens will have their token net would increase over time because we will keep burning and burning the tokens that we earn. So
Okay.
yes, so that's how people will increase their token net worth over time if they hold our tokens. But after our funding features are in place, people can use their token to fund the companies on our platforms, a company that are very carefully evaluated by our algorithms and by the incentive mechanism of evaluation on our platform. So we incentivize people to make honest and accurate evaluations. So you can take a look at the scores. For example, if there are 1,000 companies on our platforms, you can take a look at the score and you screen them down to like 10 companies. And when you're down to 10 companies, the scores will be can be broken down into many different components, and the funders can take a look at these components and decide further to fund which companies, because funders do not rely on just one score to make decisions. They have to see on the broken down components upper scores. So we provide all of that at an extra payment. So that contribute to our revenue models too.
So if I'm, let's say I'm a new company, your platform's running, it's working, I hear about it, and I'm having problems finding funding local, whatever. Hey, I want to try the DropDeck platform. So I sign up, give all the information I need to give. How do you guys, or the people, the guys at DropDeck, determine? First of all, I'm a real company, and I'm not just gonna take people's money and run. Can you tell us how at least? Because I know you talk about AI and programming and algorithms and stuff, but is there other metrics or other things that are involved in that to determine at least right off the bat who is this company, what kind of background, they're not just going to try to take these things and run, the money and run and not even care about a second installment payment, like how does that, how
Yeah,
do we realize that vision, where that's not going to happen?
yeah. I know what you mean. So we have kind of a holistic approach to evaluation here. So there are all the funding platforms who try to score the companies. There's one called ODAP, so they score companies based on the team, based on product and market and stuff like that. But all these evaluations are done by a small team of experts who are sitting in a room,
Okay.
literally sitting in a
So
room.
you have
But
people behind this absolutely looking into these companies. It's not all based off of algorithms and software.
no, I'm referring to another funding companies. I'm referring to
Oh,
another fund platform. They have a small group of experts sitting in the rooms, but that's not the right way to do it because that small group of people cannot know everything about all the companies out there to make the evaluation. So we try to avoid doing that same things. We try to decentralize the whole evaluation process, decentralize and incentivize the evaluation process. So anyone who have knowledge about a company, they can contribute their evaluation. And whenever they cast an evaluation uh, on a claim made by a company, they have already incorporated all the private information that they know about that company in their evaluation. And we have a reward system here where people, if they make the correct evaluation, then they will get rewarded. So people have the skin in the game. They have to
okay.
pay a
I
small.
I think all right. Look, I think I got it. Okay, because I was reading something about it on the website, and now you just filled it in. And
Yeah,
all right, so let's say me, I live in Florida near Tampa, the city of Tampa, and that guy you just described that
yeah,
evaluates, right? Let's say that's me.
yeah,
I don't even want to. Let's just say I don't even want to be involved in funding or anything. I just want to evaluate. I just like evaluating, right? So I can find out. Oh, there's a guy. There's the ones in Tampa. I'm gonna go do some research on this one, and then
yes,
I can say, okay, I checked this, I checked that, and give it a score. Other
yeah,
people are going to do the same thing, and then
yes,
ultimately the people who fund this will see, hey, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, these people all verified it's a real company, it really exists, they need the funding, it's not just a scam.
yes,
And
yes,
when we fund it, me as the person who went over there and reached out to maybe talk to these people or whatever to verify, yeah, this is a real deal, it's not fake.
yes,
I get
yes.
rewarded just for doing that.
Yes, exactly. So we incentivize real life people to do the work for it. We delegate the work to real life people to do that so they can get rewarded. But our evaluation system is it has many different layers. It's a complicated like Google shirt,
Yeah, yeah,
like Google.
yeah.
Yeah. So we have two layer of scores. We scores the companies. We also score the people. So we have some algorithms in place to analyze the behavior of the people on our platform. So we can calculate a trust score for each of these people. So the person with higher trust score, we have when the person with a higher trust score make an evaluation, the weight of that evaluation will be higher than the evaluation of a person with a lower trust score. So the trust score become the weight of one's evaluation in calculating the potential score for a company. So we
Well,
have two
let me
layers
ask
of
this. I don't know. I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know if you have this implemented, but I will
yeah,
say if you don't have this implemented, I'm just gonna give you an idea that maybe you might want to implement. Okay, maybe you already have it because
sure,
of what you
sure,
just said. This is very interesting. So
yeah,
I'm new and I'm doing what I just said. I'm going to this company. I'm evaluating it, but I have a low score.
yes,
But people ultimately, okay, we'll take a chance. Yep, hey, old Joe, he was right. Now my score goes up. And now all of a sudden I've got a lot of weight. So when I say this is a good thing or a legitimate company, my score is way up here. Hey, we know this guy. By chance, because my score is now really high, do I get more of a bonus or is it just the same for everybody?
you get the same as everybody.
All right, so that's where I was
Yeah,
going to go. It's just an idea. You don't have to do this, but I'm just saying I think
mm,
that might help if you gave an additional percentage as someone
of
gets
course.
up to a level of trust of, hey, this guy has never made a mistake. He's really out there trying hard, that kind of thing. Maybe something to
I see.
consider. All I'm saying, just consider it, just because I think that might help. But that's my opinion.
Yeah,
That's just my
yeah.
opinion.
That's cool. Let's make a tire reputation system
And it's just a
where
little extra
people.
percentage. You know what I mean? Again, we want to incentivize everybody
Mm,
to go out and let's not be scammers. I don't want to, trick people just to get this money and run one time. Like, hey, wait a minute. If I do a real good job, now I know I'm going to get the money or the tokens in this case, which I can turn into money for doing my job good. But I got to score way up here.
mm.
So I feel like, throw me a couple percent extra or 3%, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, that'll be for you guys to decide even if you do this. But I just think it might be a really good idea.
Yeah, exactly. That will be an extra layer of incentive. We want to add more and more layer of
Yeah.
incentives like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
cool.
and if you want, I don't patent my name, JSnip4. So if you want to call it the JSnip4 bonus in the future,
Yeah,
I'm
make
okay
it
with that. You
okay.
can do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. All right.
Yeah.
Was there any other things you wanted to cover too? Because I know we kind of stopped, and I don't know if you were in the middle of finishing some things you were talking about, but I just kind of cut you off because sometimes someone will say something and it just gets me. Oh, wait a minute, I gotta break in and say this. You know what I mean? So I don't even know where you may have been going next, but please continue
Yeah.
if you have some more.
Yeah, I just want to give people a sense that our AI technology is very expansive. We have many different layers and we have a lot of innovation in that. That's what got it into the top 146 of IBM Watson AI X Prize, which is a very prestigious competitions. That's how we got a lot of support and recognition from AI experts around the world on
Wow.
our AI plan. So we developed a very extensive AI plan to in order to win this competition in 4 years. It is a 4 year competition, so we have to pass one round after another every year. It's very tough. So we're working we're doing our best.
Well, it sounds like
Um,
it. I mean, you just said you said you won an award so far for.
Yeah, so it is a 4 year competition. If we can make it into the fourth year, 2020, we can win the first prize. But every year there will be like a yearly prize. So we're trying to pass into the next round.
Good, cool. Well,
Yeah.
that shows you guys are definitely on board. I mean, you're definitely trying to get this thing
Yeah.
going. And the funny thing is, it's I hear about AI like maybe a year ago is when I first really started to hear that that term AI and developers needed in the future if you want to become a programmer, start learning AI. I'm like, what the hell? What is that? Okay, I mean, I know what it is, but sure enough, a year later, here we are, 2017, almost 2018 now,
Mm.
and now like you guys you're gonna need that for your blockchain project here,
Yeah,
DropDeck.
exactly.
And it's
So
just showing that's exactly where everything's going. These cars, these self-driving cars, the autonomous cars,
yeah,
built
exactly.
completely with AI. So it's just like, okay, it makes sense to have that. So that's great to know that you guys are doing
Yes,
that.
exactly. Yeah, like AI and blockchains, they will become technologies of the futures. That they will become like electricities that
Yeah.
people cannot, notice that they're running. So in our case, we're trying to combine AI and blockchains in a very innovative way. We're not just combining like one plus one equal two, but one plus one equal three, because we use AI to complement blockchains and blockchains to complement AIs in a unique way. For example, so one of our philosophy in calculating the scores for the people and for the company is to incorporate as much data as possible. We collect data from a huge amount of sources, but in order to get more useful data from the user who knows about the companies and the people, we we need the tokens and the smart contract to create an incentive system, like I told you, so that we can pull more and more useful data for our AI system. Because the data we collect from many sources, they're not very useful, so we need a lot. But if we can collect more useful data from incentivized behavior of the users, then they will be very useful, and we need less data to produce more accurate scores. So that's how we're combining these two technologies, and when we combine when we use blockchain features to complement AI technologies, we also improve the integrity of the output. It means that we calculate the score, and you know that the scores are based on the data that we have in our database. It's not like we change the database to manipulate the scores. And also, the blockchains also enable increase the level of AI human collaborations. Like AI is very advanced now, but it cannot do everything on its own. It still need input from human, and it still need efforts from human to uh, to bridge the gap of man and machine.
Yeah.
A lot of gap between offline and online work too. So with smart contract, we can incentivize real life behavior and bridge all of these gaps. So the AI get feedback from human very often. The human become like oracles in this on blockchains. So they got a lot of useful data from the oracles. We also partner with a few telcos, a few big data partners. Like in Vietnam, we partner with the biggest telecommunication companies here. It's called Viettel, and they provided a huge amount of data. So in other countries, we will have that kind of data partnership, so they can provide a lot of data. They become our oracles.
So
And
like what? So like one of the things they could do would be they could simply verify, hey, this company's been around for 10 years. They've been using our services. So you know it's a
yes,
legitimate company. They've been paying their
yeah,
bills for 10 years. You'll be able to grab that data as
yeah,
part of the metrics
exactly.
you need. Because one of the things I was thinking of is, okay, a new company comes up, they want funding. A brand new company comes up, they want funding. Another new company. I'm like, well, those are the
Yeah,
scarier ones because they're brand new, right? But
yeah,
but I'm thinking, well, that's not realistic. What's realistic is a company that's been around for a while. We want to expand, or we got a new product we want to bring online. We can't get funding, so they go
mm,
to DropDeck, get the funding.
yes,
Well, they've been in business for 20 years, yada yada yada. Everything's solid, and then they get funded through you guys. So because my mind sometimes goes to what's the worst possible scenario, and I'm thinking, okay, well, brand new company comes up. How do we know they're not in this to just take the money one time and run? And but again, realistically, that's not going to happen. You're not going to have a bunch of brand new companies coming up.
okay.
It's just it's not going to happen. So please continue.
Yeah, yeah. So our philosophy, to calculate the accurate score, we need to incorporate as much data as possible. So, when the new companies come up on our platform, there's not a lot of information about that company on the internet. So the score will not be so high.
Yeah.
The score will only increase as we have more and more data on that companies. So that applies the same to the user on our platform. If that person is like if a person is invisible on the internet, then there's not much data to calculate that person's trust scores. So that person's trust score is supposed to be low.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just replicates the same way that we access people and company manually. When you want to access a person, you need to take a look at that person's social accounts, their activities on the internet, and when you want to access a company, you need to take a look at their transaction history, what their supplier is saying, for example. So the AI and the smart contract here are just doing, just automate what we would do not manually here, but we take it to another level. We automate everything, increase the flow of data so that the score will become more and more accurate over time.
Excellent. Wow, that's pretty incredible. Yeah, I knew this would be a pretty interesting conversation, but yeah, this is again, I love these all technology related to blockchain just because my favorite thing is to take out either the middleman or hey, we've never been able to do this kind of thing before.
Yeah.
Blockchain to the rescue. And you're kind of doing two things at once. Blockchain to the rescue on this kind of scenario, and there's kind of a middleman, and the middleman essentially is the old school way of doing this. Funding
Yes.
across borders, extremely difficult. But like I mentioned in the very beginning, that guy, Sovereign Man, he calls himself, Simon Black. He's always talking about incredible opportunities in other countries. And he's like, oh, just because I'm here doesn't mean anything, or just because you're in America doesn't mean anything. And he's like, oh, there was this thing I want to tell you about. Subscribe to my newsletter. Well, I ended up subscribing a long time ago, and I see him constantly posting. I'm like, man, everything he talks about practically is in some other country. And for whatever reason, whatever country it's in, they've got this great idea. They just can't get the investor. So that's one of the things he does is kind of put
Mm.
that together. But that's still old school funding. I'd like to be able to sit here at my computer and log in and say, okay, there's some, you know what, I think I want to throw some of my DDD tokens, funding whatever towards this idea and see what happens. Rather than have another firm handle my stuff or a broker or whatever handle my stuff. I want to be able to do it from my computer screen. I want to get involved. I want to put my the token investment into this thing and see what happens. It's got such and such credit, or not credit, but whatever the score is. And everybody's different, but I could say, okay, well, I only want to invest in like AAA, way up here, score.
Yeah.
it is what it is. You know, we all have our preferences, but it's nice to know that I can just do it myself. I can do it myself. This is why I don't have a 401k at work. I don't have people investing my money for me. My investment was, oh my God, I see what cryptos are doing. I started making the lowest car payments possible on my car because I said I want to take that extra money and put it into cryptos and these ICOs and some of that stuff. I flipped some of that money, got profit, and now I paid my car off, and I still got this profit left over. So it's like I'm in charge of my own stuff. So whenever I'm in charge, I feel a lot better about it rather than trusting some supposed expert who's going to lead me. I'll tell you, my wife was at the bank the other day, and they're like, oh, we need you to talk to our such and such guy. And she's like, why? She said, hey, just take a minute. Oh, hey, I want to talk to you about investing. Letting us invest your money and your savings account and this and that. My wife says to him, my husband, you ever hear of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin? Yeah, I've heard of that. He's killing it in these cryptos. He's not going to even come talk to you when you want to put his money in this, here, make a percent or two over here. It's not going to happen. We wouldn't dare waste his money. Well, here's my business card, just in case. Like, yeah, Evelyn, rip that thing up. This is the kind of stuff what you guys are doing. I'm not putting my money, hey, go play with a couple percent. No, I want a freaking ICO that's going to perform. Even if I got to wait, like I tell people, sometimes you got to wait. Pillar's one of those tokens we have to wait on. From the sounds of yours, because you're not there with the platform yet, we're going to have to wait a little bit. But we have a great incentive at first. Big bonus pre-sale. Jason at 4 or 5% sale, whatever, which is cool. I've never had anybody do that, actually, where they put the code in for me, for my subscriber. That's really neat. But, yeah, anyway, so, I mean, this is why I do what I do. This is why I do these videos. I absolutely love it. So, is there anything else you need to discuss or tell anybody, or is that about wrap it up?
Yeah, like you mentioned a point regarding the middleman. So I listened to your interview with Spectre, and
Yeah.
the best thing to do was to remove the middleman. But in our case, it's kind of the opposite. We put in a lot of middlemen here to put into the smart contracts, so that we can delegate a lot of works to them, and we can incentivize them to do the right things. Because without the middlemen, the
Yeah, okay,
the
I got,
people on
yeah.
two sides, yeah, cannot do everything. We cannot do everything in-house. We cannot do the work of a hunter. We cannot do the work of an evaluators. We cannot do the work of a delegate. So we need to delegate to those people so they can do the work for us. And the people who fail to do so will be replaced. So there's
Yeah.
always a sense of natural selection here. So
Yeah.
they'd have to do the best to get rewarded or get replaced.
Yeah, it makes sense. And let me clarify for everybody too. When I say you guys are replacing the middleman is the current system
I
of
see.
funding. That's what I mean. Like, go like for example, let me go to my banker and let my banker invest my money for me. He's the middleman. Get out of my face. Like you're wasting my time. I'm over here in crypto. This is the future. Don't bother me with
Yeah,
that. Oh, you made 2% the other day. Pfft, I made 20. Flipping this one coin. That kind of thing. So yeah, that's what I meant. You are getting rid of that old dinosaur middleman, but I do understand what
exactly.
you're saying, where you have us personal middlemen going around making sure this is a legitimate company and giving them the scores and stuff. I get it. Yeah, so I understand why you said that, but I want to
Exactly.
clarify what I meant. You're getting rid of a dinosaur, and that's the key here. Get rid of the freaking dinosaur and let's get on with the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. There's no middleman in that sense anymore, because you have you know you can make your own decisions based on all available information on our platform. There's no need to consult with anyone anymore. But also in our platform, there's a lot of mechanism for you to gather more and more opinion and trusted data from people you trust. So you can always ask people you trust to add more evaluation on a company you're interested in. You can ask people to refer people they trust, so you can trust them. And the people you trust, the evaluation of the people you trust will add to the accuracy of the evaluation results that you see on our platform. So it's a whole closed ecosystem like that work toward presenting the most accurate scores possible to you, so you can screen company very fast and arrive at your next winning investment faster.
And obviously, I think I already know the answer to this. It's pretty obvious, but I do want to ask it.
Yes.
If I have a bunch of tokens that I've let's say I get on the pre-sale and I got however many tokens, 100,000 tokens or something, and I'm sitting on those tokens, your platform's ready, it's starting to be used. Of course, I can add some to that company, that company, that company, that company, and just let them all. Right. I mean, I could basically invest in all these numerous ones with
Mm.
however much I want to invest in. Correct?
Yeah, so you can diversify your portfolios. We make a list of company at the top, so you can make your own decisions. This company is great, but it has some risky components in it. So I'm not going to put all of my money in these companies. I'm only put a small amount in this company and not in those in other companies. So this ability to make portfolio investment is also very valuable in our platform.
So if there's a company that's low on the list of, you got
Yes.
a high score and a low score. So let's just say, it's a legitimate company. It's just whatever reason it's low on the list. So therefore there's higher risk. Do they, if that thing ends up working out, they get funded, it works out, everybody's happy. Is it did they pay more? Like in other words, like a higher interest kind of a thing because they were lower on the score than someone that's high on the score, or is it still pretty much even for everybody? Like whatever the return is, it's the same for everybody.
It's the same for everybody, but the
Okay.
people who have the low scores, they can do work to increase the chance that their score will be increased. So there's a lot of things they can do in platform to build the trust with the people on our
Okay.
platform. Yeah, they can make more, articulate claims so that people can evaluate. They can invite trusted people to trust them. They can invite trusted people to evaluate them. They can do like A/B testing to see which content is evaluated better, so they can um, improve their content over time in order to reflect the evaluation of trusted audience.
I just had something come to right into my brain, and I could literally see people who do nothing but evaluate. They do nothing else. Hey, I'm going to come to you. I've got a decent score as an evaluator. I've got a good track record. I noticed your company's low on the score. I
Mm,
can come to you, and they might even negotiate a fee
mm,
themselves of, hey, I'll do this, but since you're so far away from me, I need, maybe have a fee involved. I don't know, but at least, and even if they don't do that, I could just see people going with the camera. Hey, I'm here. It's a real facility, and they've got an assembly line, and they've got this going.
mm. Yeah.
This looks like a real company, guys. Hey, it's me, so and so from YouTube. The camera, and they actually literally do a walkthrough of a company, and then come back report that, hey, it looks solid, and maybe here's my link to my channel so you can see what I did at this place. I mean, I could just, people have crazy ideas and are real,
Yeah.
it can be real skillful at times. And I could just see people literally doing this to become a business where they go and
Yeah.
evaluate and get their
Mm.
scores up. Which again, I know I said they may ask the person, "Hey, can you pay for me to come see you?" But that's not even that's you don't even need to do that because again, I forgot you. They're going to get paid on your side as being, "Hey, I evaluated this. It turned out to be true. Everything's good. My score stays way up here because I'm becoming really well known in this platform. So
Yes.
everyone trusts this particular person. That's going to hold value. Everyone's going to want to make sure these certain people are evaluating all the time. Hey, that guy's never been wrong yet. He's always been really good. That kind of a thing. And
Mm.
so I
Career.
could, yeah, literally a career out of doing these little analysis. So it's
Yeah.
pretty interesting. That's pretty neat. There's a bunch of different ways here for people
Yeah.
to earn. You got the investor side, which would be us token holders. You've got the analyst side. This is kind of neat. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. When I was engaging in the startup, ecosystem here, there are a lot of people like that. They have a lot of knowledge, a lot of connections. They know a lot of things about new companies. Is this one good? Is this one bad? Know everything. So, but they cannot, like monetize their knowledge. So I think this is a channel for them to monetize knowledge and
Yep.
transfer that value to the people who need to learn the most about those companies that they know about.
Nice. Excellent. Well, Ilan, it was
Yeah,
an absolute pleasure
yeah. That
having you
sounds
on
like a
today.
lot of things. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of things we need to do in the near future, but we have made some progress so far. It's like we posted our job post on AngelList and we got like more than 500 people applied to work for us, and we also have a lot of partners who refer a lot of people to work for us after the ICOs. So after the ICO, we I think we got the momentum to move toward completing the product in the soonest possible time. So that's what we look forward to make it happen in as short time as possible to make our funding features in place so that people can start funding great companies around the world on our websites and channel more capital into innovation to make our future quality of life better, you know.
Yeah,
That's our vision.
this is simply, I mean, this is really blockchain, but this is taking something that's old and this is like new technology. You know, like
Yes.
we don't have these old, you know, we don't use steam engine, you know, trains anymore. We've got modern diesel electric train. Right? It's just simple technology taking leaps and bounds forward. So everything
Mm.
that we're used to doing this way or that way is now changing, and it's going on the blockchain. It's going to be faster. It's
Yeah.
going to be better. It's, you know, I mean, it's just again, it's just natural progression in technology is all we're really talking about here, which is why it's like perfect timing because I keep telling everybody this is still
Yeah.
ground floor. You still have time. Oh, Bitcoin's too high or this coin. Like, forget that. They keep going up. Don't say that. Just get in the game. Get into cryptos. Get into some ICOs. Get
Yeah.
into some coins. They're not going away. Like this is just the future, man. It's incredible. And I think like we talked about earlier, Singapore realizes this, which is why they have big open arms for everybody. You guys want to create businesses and things in here to do these ICOs? Come on down. They'll get their
Yeah.
tax revenues. They'll get the businesses starting up. They're gonna be hiring people. It's positive. Singapore is doing the right thing, while some of the
Yeah.
bigger countries, I mean, in this case, China, took a big step back. But I
Mm.
still think they're gonna ultimately realize we can't stop this. Let's just put some regulation on it and let them come back to China because you can't have the rest of the world doing it and you guys left out. So I think they'll get the hint
Yeah.
here real soon
Exactly.
and get back
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah, I think China is taking a step back because of all the scams out there. There's too many scams because the number of, legitimate ICOs is just too low, you know. There are not many legitimate ICOs out there. Most of them are scams. So that's why we build DropDeck because DropDeck don't just serve ICOs, but DropDeck serve companies out there who cannot afford an ICO campaign, which is sometimes costly and distracting. We serve the majority of fundraising companies out there who also don't want to do ICOs. So our market size is much bigger than the company who just provide services to ICOs. We address a much bigger market. We aim for a much bigger impact on the society and economy this time this way.
Excellent. Well, that about sum it up, I guess. Pretty
Yes.
interesting, pretty interesting conversation. The funny thing is, I mean, you just got so much to say about this thing. It's just like incredible. And I'm just thinking of, oh, that I gotta ask him about that. I gotta ask him about that. It's just, but it's good though. You just you've got a good thing here, I think. And it's just it's too bad it's not going to be ready sooner. Is all I can say. It's just, I want to get involved. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to throw some funds out to some of these companies, see what happens. But we're gonna have to wait a little bit for that. But that's all right. I'll sit on the tokens
Yeah.
like I do for Pillar and a couple others, and just wait it out, kind of a thing. So it was a
Yeah.
real pleasure having you today. And again, everybody, November the 4th is the pre-sale time, or pre-sale
Yes.
date, and you'll give me that code, and I'll go ahead and
Yes.
put it in this video. That way, everybody knows that special data code to put in. And again, everybody listening, when you're on my Ether wallet, there's a section right when you put in the address to send to, the quantity, the gas limit, or whatever. Right under there, it says the data. You click that button, and a little box pops open. You just paste that code right in there. That's all you have to do.
That's all you
Yep.
have to do.
Yep. So that's cool, and that'll work again. That'll work for the pre-sale and the regular sale. The code, anyways, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Absolutely incredible thing you got here that I'm pretty psyched about, and
Yeah.
look forward to getting into it myself.
Thank you,
So
Joe.
thanks for coming on.
We work hard.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Take care. See you.